Well, just in case you didn't know, football season is back, and you see Teshia on the screen. This is not just a show divided, but this is now a show Nuff Divided because Bryan is in the family. Let's say what's up to Bryan. Bryan, what's going on, man?
Hello, hey, how you doing, Willie? Glad to be here.
Man, I am
ready to get after it.
I'm so excited that you are here with us. Teshia C, of course. Now she has to share the stage with you.
I'm grateful.
I know her ego is not too large to where that will take place, but we got some things to get into because the NFL season is here. This is not a show divided. This is now a show Nuff Divided. As we are going to have some sibling rivalries and some sibling spats with hashtag Raider Nation, hashtag Chiefs Kingdom, and hashtag Duval. So we already know what it is. So I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm ready to get this thing going. How about y'all?
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's us go. You already know what we do. Here we go. Welcome back. And you know what it is when you hear that music and you see that video. That must mean we are back for season 2 of a show divided. Now it's the remix of Show Sho Nuff Divided. Bryan is in the building. He's now the part of the SBMG family. Teshia C has to now share the stage with Bryan as they are the co-stars of this wonderful podcast that you can see right here on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, Twitter. We are steamrolling towards 12,000 followers. We are almost there. I predict that by the end of the month, we will be there. Lady and gentlemen, start your engines. Are you guys ready to get this going?
Let's go.
Yep, let's get it.
I thought I would hear a little bit more excitement than that for season 2.
Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. All right,
bring it on.
Sorry, so yeah, you be careful what you ask for because you about to get it here in a minute. All right, Willie Epstein Jr., man, ShakeBack Media Group. We are doing some very, very big things, as you can tell on the screen. We're going to get to the nuts and bolts of our teams from week 1 and the look ahead to week 2 in just a second. But we got to talk about some Aaron Rodgers because even though he doesn't play for any one of our teams, the most anticipated free agent or acquisition, rather, that took place in the offseason, one of the biggest ones probably that we've seen in this generation, the career, I won't say the career, but the start of what's going on in New York City with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets has been suddenly deplaned after 75 seconds and only 4 plays on the field against the Buffalo Bills on Monday night. Aaron Rodgers goes down with a torn Achilles. And after watching it several times and seeing that calf muscle reverberate the way that I did, I was like, yo, he had a blowout because it looked like a blowout on a tire. So he's done for the year. Again, none of us are Jets fans, but none of us are really, well, I'm not going to speak for the group. I'm just going to ask. Bryan, number 1, are you an Aaron Rodgers fan? And then 2, your thoughts about the 39-year-old quarterback acquisition from Green Bay in his 19th season going to a team that many people believe that has Super Bowl aspirations. You're talking to what I'm right here because I picked them. So your thoughts about all of that, man, in terms of what we saw in New York City, or I guess in New Jersey the other night.
I was I can't say I was a fan of his, but I do respect what he accomplished in Green Bay and his accomplishments overall. He's a heck of a player. He's going to be Hall of Fame. So everything he did, I do respect. As far as this hyping it up, for the Jets and Super Bowl aspirations and all that. I mean, I get where it's coming from. I mean, Tom Brady did it. Peyton Manning did it. They all went somewhere different. One first year, I believe, at both of them. So, I mean, the aspirations were there, and so to see him, only take 4 snaps, I guess technically 5 if you count his Achilles, but I mean that's that's brutal, and it's tough for the city of New York, really. I mean, I guarantee you that the city of New York feels like that nothing can go right for them, when it comes to the Jets and really even the Giants. I mean, when we get to it. So it's like, I feel bad for him. I do. And I hope the best for him. I do actually think that he comes back. Hopefully that's not one of your questions. I do think that he makes a recovery and he doesn't call it quits. He doesn't retire. I think he wants to come back and play another season. So.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's one of the questions or not either. I guess we're going to find out together here in a minute, but and even if it's not, or if it is, I mean, I'm still up in the air on it because of the fact that he's 39 years old. Now I understand the competitive nature that Aaron has, and it's been well documented, and all of the fun things that they've been talking about that's been going on in New York with his arrival, the I guess the newness, and really even that feeling of being wanted by another team or by a team, as opposed to what we saw in Green Bay. I kind of would lean with you on the side of him coming back simply because that's not what you want to go out as. Now, we do know that injury has ended seasons for various people in the past, to include Dan Marino in football. You had Isaiah Thomas, the real Isaiah Thomas, in the NBA. But then you see people come back from that. Kevin Durant came back from it. DeMarcus Cousins came back from it. And now it's Aaron Rodgers' turn to come back from it. So we shall see. All right, Teshia, I know you're not an Aaron Rodgers fan, but still, your thoughts.
Hey, I'll make it short and sweet. I don't like playing him, but as a quarterback, I'm a huge fan. I mean, he's super, super, super talented. I was kind of shocked when he ended up with the Jets. And honestly, kind of like you said, I honestly was hoping they would have, I was really hoping he would have a good year, at least a decent one. So it was heartbreaking just to see that. Overall, it really makes me wonder what's going on in his mind, as like you said, his age is 39. He's clearly, one of the tops. Do you come back? Do you? I mean, he has a lot riding on it. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and you can safely assume that. And I watched the game, and I saw it at the beginning, and how the stadium was in such a frenzy. You had Method Man out there. You had so many other stars out there. So it's safe to assume that Jets fans went on this. So it had to be a bit of a roller coaster for them. And for me, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers fan. I have never been an Aaron Rodgers fan, except for when he plays the Cowboys. And maybe even the Chiefs for that matter. But what I'm saying is that the older that I have gotten when it comes to seeing these Warriors that have been playing their respective sports for so long, right? Whether it was Kobe in the NBA, whether it was Dirk in the NBA, whether it's even Tom Brady in the NFL, whether it was Barry Bonds in MLB, the older and even Michael Jordan to a degree back in the day, the older that I have become, the more respect that I have for what these guys have done and continue to do at a high level. And then a greater deal of it for me becomes more appreciative of the fact that we're probably never going to see stuff like this again. And I think for sports fans that are true sports fans, yeah, we can have our teams, of course, But for fans that are true sports fans or NFL fans or even football fans or at all, I think that's the idea or the highway that we should be taking in terms of where we're going to see Aaron Rodgers in terms of him coming back. So that's my thought. I'm hoping that he does come back. We shall see. All right. So week 1 is in the books. Week 1 started on Thursday Night Football about a week ago, opening night in Kansas City, where
I said, did it?
We about to find out. So the Detroit Lions go into Kansas City on banner night. In what is it, GM Field at Arrowhead Stadium. And they go into Kansas City and they beat the Chiefs. Now, I understand that the Chiefs were without Chris Jones and they were without Travis Kelce. However, this is more about the Lions to me as they won 21-20. And then Jacksonville takes the road. They go up to Indianapolis and they beat the Anthony Richardson-led Colts 31-21. And then can we get the sounder? Raiders go off to Denver. And in a game that saw Russell Wilson be very, very efficient in the first half, we actually succumb the lead to them, and then we take it back, and Jimmy Garoppolo does Jimmy Garoppolo things as the Raiders hold off the Broncos on the road 17-16. So let's back up to the Lions and the Chiefs. Teshia, I have a question.
Bring it.
What is it about your team in that game that made you the most mad?
How about the inability to catch a pass? That was a pretty big one. Honestly, I don't know that there's that was pretty much it. Catch the ball. That's football 101.
I have something for you. Are you ready?
Bring it on.
Teshia's tantrum. I have been waiting all off season to play that.
That's exactly what it sounded like in my living room. Trust me.
All right, Brian. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, as we just stated, they go to Indy and they get the victory 31-21 against the Colts. Trevor Lawrence had a pretty good game. They had to come back against a team that many people aren't really expecting too much of. It was an AFC South battle. Here's my geography question for the episode. Can you tell me how in the world is it that Indianapolis, which is further north than Cincinnati, is in the South, and Cincinnati, which is in the AFC North, which is further north, which is further south, than Indianapolis is in the AFC North? Can you please explain that to me?
There's no explanation for that. I really don't know why the Colts are down here in the South. They shouldn't be here. But I'm glad they're in our division.
Yeah, I bet you are. So in mocking Teshia and her tantrum, and I think I'm about to come up with one for you too. What was it about game 1, or the first game rather, about the Colts game with your Jaguars that made you the most mad?
During the game, it was definitely the rookie mistakes for the actual rookies, with like Tank Bigsby, his rookie mistake of just holding on to the ball, not knowing that the whistle's not blown. That's a rookie mistake. The guy just comes in and bats the ball away, and then you give up a touchdown, an easy touchdown at that. That's something that you hope that he learns from that and doesn't do that again. We also had a rookie. Unfortunately, he had a decent game. He's from the University of Oklahoma, so he had a pretty good game, but he had a couple of plays where he just whiffed, and unfortunately, when you start playing some of these, Myles Garrett's and them, that's just not going to be good, for being a tackle. So that's what made me the most mad, would be just the rookie mistakes.
Okay, and as we round out this part of the show talking about the Raiders, What made me most mad about the Raiders is what always makes me mad about the Raiders. And it's the fact that our penalty situation just seems to get worse every year. And not only that, the defense still has a lot of problems with getting off the field on third down. That made me the most mad. Now, I think that ultimately it will be cleaned up, or, I'm at least hoping that ultimately it will be cleaned up. But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can't have that many penalties and expect to compete at a high level and even win these types of games. Look at this. When you have 10 penalties for 97 yards, and then you have 2 turnovers, one in the red zone thrown by an interception thrown by Jimmy G, you just can't have that. All right, let's talk about some happier stuff. Teshia, is there any? I'm gonna phrase the question this way: is there anything about the first game against the Lions with the Chiefs that made you the most glad?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna name a certain play or any, because that's beyond that. But I think what made me the most glad was just watching the team come on the field, seeing the banner drop. It was a beautiful moment. We were, a little light as far as players go, but Kelsey was there on the sideline. I loved seeing him cheer us on. So that, honestly, in general, it was an L, but it was still it made me happy. So. Loss is a loss. Oh well. What's that?
You just made me dribble my water on my shirt.
Come on, that's football. Oh well,
yeah.
It's week 1.
I thought you would be a little bit more upset at this, and I think I might be a little bit upset that you're not more upset.
Can I say something really quickly?
Mm-hmm.
I like it when we lose because it sets a fire under us. We get mad. Make us mad. Make us mad week 1. Let's go. Get ready.
Well, Bryan and the Jaguars might have something to say about that here shortly, so we will come back to that. But Bryan, what made you the most glad in your victories, 31-21 victory over the Colts on the road?
Red zone touchdowns. That's what made me happy about this. Last year, they were in the middle, about 17th in percentage of red zone opportunities that turned into touchdowns. And unfortunately, you're not going to go anywhere just being in the middle of the pack in that category. So the fact that they got in the red zone 3 times, they scored 3 touchdowns with the 2 Trevor Lawrence touchdown passes and the Tank Bigsby touchdown run. I was really pleased with that.
Trevor Lawrence, 24 of 32, 241 yards, 2 touchdown passes, did have a pick. He was sacked twice.
Now, I will say that pick, it was in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped it. That was the other Tank Bigsby rookie mistake. It came off of his hands, went right into the defender, and he took it. So unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation, but I don't see that as being on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and it's not, and it can't be. Kind of like the interception that Mahomes threw against Detroit. I mean, it went right into the hands of Kadarius Toney. All of a sudden, he forgets how to catch the football, and then next thing you know, the Lions are galloping to the other end zone for 6. So
that's not pretty.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens. It just never happens to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. I mean, I think that was the most shocking thing about the whole play for me. Not necessarily that he missed it or that he didn't catch it, but the Chiefs just don't get those kind of bad bounces. They haven't in like the last 7 years. And when it happened, you're like, wait, what? Did that really just happen? Am I being punked? It's kind of like that. For me, the Raiders, what made me the most glad is the fact that we gutted out a win. The Raiders are a continuous narcotic that I keep saying this, that I am never able to get off of. I don't care what city they're in, whether it's Oakland, whether it's LA, whether it's Vegas. Hell, they could even play in Juneau, Alaska, and I will feel the same way. But the fact that they gutted out a win, and I was really, really impressed with Jimmy Garoppolo, who I have so many questions about, and mostly of it being his ability to stay on the field. So whenever he gets, because he actually got nicked up in this game earlier, and he kind of was like, yo, I might need to sit down for a second. But when he rushed for that first down on 3rd and 8 to seal the game, that made me very happy. And that's the Jimmy Garoppolo that Raider fans need to see, want to see, and have to see. All right. So I'm going to give you guys some true, false statement or some statements, and you have to say only true or false. And we did this we actually unveiled this segment in one of the preview shows. I don't remember which one it was, but they're out there. So with that being said, this is going to be the true false portion of the show. And I'm going to do it just like this. Okay. True or false? True or false?
Hi, and welcome to our True or False. I'm going to make 10 statements, and all you have to do is decide whether they're true or false.
It ain't going to be 10 statements, but it's going to be a few statements. Teshia, after week 1, you absolutely were convinced that the Las Vegas Raiders were going to be in first place in the division going into week 2. True or false?
False. That was too easy. Come on. Hey, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Seriously.
I am enjoying it.
As you should.
I'm going to continue to enjoy it until I can't anymore, which will probably be sooner than I want, but that's the life of a Raider fan. All right, Brian, true or false? The Jacksonville Jaguars were surprisingly down to the Colts in the first half, and you were completely thrown off by the fact that they had to come from behind and get this victory. True or false?
True.
I think I'll agree with that because they actually had me scared there for a minute, Brian. I was like, yo, I don't want to have to go all the way to Louisiana and check on Greg because, Greg, he's been on the show. He's a Jags fan, all that. And they actually had me scared. I'm like, no way they can lose to the Colts. No freaking way. All right. True or false, Teshia? Aaron Rodgers, his career, as we know it, is over.
False.
We shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see. All right. Brian, true or false? When Seattle hosted the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday, and the Rams went up there to Seattle to the Pacific Northwest and beat the Seahawks, you completely expected that.
True.
You did?
I did.
Wow. Explain.
So I think a lot of people don't really understand. I don't know if they don't understand that Stafford's not a good quarterback. Stafford's always been a great quarterback, I think. And he's back 100% healthy. They've got one of the best play callers on offense. Why wouldn't we expect him to go up there and just put on an offensive clinic? I mean, I'm kind of surprised by their running back situation. They ran the ball really well. So I was kind of shocked by that. But other than that, I'm not surprised that they went up there and won that one.
Shout out to Football Talk with Bo. You can hear him and Mr. U every Monday at 8 a.m. right here on the group, ShakeBack Media Group, on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and MySpace and not MySpace. I'm sorry. Maybe not MySpace.
You're not getting away with that one. No.
Right. And I'm shocked. I was shocked because, well, I shouldn't say shocked. I was moderately surprised, but I really shouldn't have been because Geno Smith was last year like the year that Cam Newton won the MVP, where you don't really see much of that type of play from that type of a quarterback, or is he going to be able to improve this year? I would think that he would be able to improve, especially with them getting Jackson Smith-Njigba in the first round of the draft from the Ohio State Buccaneers. All right, one more true false, guys, and then we're going to roll on to the hashtag look ahead. Teshia, true or false? Tua Tagovailoa was the best quarterback after week 1.
False.
I'm going to ask you the same question, Brian.
I'm gonna say true.
Are you going on stats or what?
I'm just based off of what I saw. I mean, I
The eye
understand
test.
he's got Tyreek Hill, but from the eye test, his balls were crisp. I mean, they looked good, and yeah, he's a great quarterback. I mean, you could see it, and all the most of the main names, that you would normally see at the top, didn't have great week. Burrow didn't have a great week. I don't think Lamar Jackson had a great week. I mean, there's quite a few of them that didn't. So I think Tua had probably the best week. Mac Jones had a great week. As crazy as that sounds. But he was probably the best quarterback coming out of week 1.
Who would have thought that out of these 4 Alabama quarterbacks, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young, and Mac Jones, that Mac Jones and Tua would have been the best 2 quarterbacks from that school on this day going into these games? I would have never thought that. I mean, they combined for over 800 yards passing between the 2 of them. And then what the Dolphins did by going out to California and beating the Chargers. I loved it because I hate the Chargers, although my girl, Brandy Guyton, her son plays for the Chargers. So whenever they're playing, I'm rooting for them, except when they play the Raiders. But be that as it may, I like that explanation. I actually agree. I think Tua Tagovailoa after week 1 was the best quarterback on any NFL field from week 1. All right, let's go ahead and move on, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got the hashtag look ahead. And this is the first episode of this season 2 of this show. And right into it, we got the siblings about to face off with the Jaguars and the Chiefs, as the Chiefs will be heading to Northeast Florida, hashtag Duval, where we will see a rematch of last year's AFC divisional round game between those Jags and those Chiefs. Brian, what is the key to victory for your Jaguars against the Chiefs?
If he plays, find Travis Kelce and double him. All right. Don't let him catch the ball. All right. Don't let him catch the ball. That's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, in the playoff game last year, Travis Kelce killed us. There was times where it's like, you're playing great defense and you've got him pinned back, and Mahomes would find Kelce somehow, and that's just, he's the killer. We saw that the receivers are, mid, they're not great right now, at least out of week 1. And so if you can stop Kelce, you stop the offense. I think I know Chris Jones is back, but I think that I still think that the Jaguars offense is still going to be able to move the ball.
Travis Kelce kills everybody. And I hate them. I hate them with a passion. And I'm going to ask both of you guys a question after Teshia gives her key to victory for her Chiefs against the Jaguars. Teshia, what you got?
I mean, it's not much more to it than that. Thank you for the theatrics. Let's go. No, I hate to say this, but in Jacksonville, solid. But if it was week 1 all over again, I think you guys would totally have a chance. But now it's week 2, and the whole dynamic has changed. So we have Kelce. We should have Kelce on good authority. That's not a given, but we have Chris Jones. That's more time to throw a ball. Maybe that's more time to throw a ball that somebody needs an extra split second to catch it. So I don't know. What do we need? I think we got what we need.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Travis Kelce is training to play. He actually was a full participant in practice on Wednesday. Who cares? Chris Jones, he signed a 1-year, $12 million deal laden with extension or with the what they call it, incentives.
He's playing.
He played himself. Why in the world, especially after Nick Bosa got the bag that he did, 5 years, 100 and whatever it was million, you come back after all this time to hold out to sign for a 1-year deal. That was absolutely stupid to me. And then we already know what. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
It's Kansas City.
What
He said
that
he wanted
mean?
to play for the same team, and that means a lot to him. He's rooted there. He's moved his family there. I mean, it's his whole heart is there. So
I bet his heart ain't gonna be there if God forbid something happens, because you know how it goes for these people, man, when they don't get training like they get in training camp and all that.
I know.
There's those lagging injuries, and then next thing you know, he's down. He didn't even get a fully guaranteed deal. I mean, okay. I'm talking about this like I'm really upset about it because I really don't care. I don't care. I hope he doesn't get any incentive reach, and I'm not gonna wish injury on the dude. Just be injured or hurt enough not to play all of the snaps that you would normally play. That's all I'm gonna think about. For me, I think the keys to victory for the Jaguars is just what you said, Brian. But I think they need to have a bit of a more running presence. They got Travis Etienne. They've got the rookie that you spoke about. The Chiefs' run defense is not that great, although they did hold up against the Lions, which I was very surprised about. This is going to be a home game for the Jaguars, so you know those fans are going to be amped up. For the Chiefs, the keys to victory, look, they have to, number one, remember how to catch the football. Number two, they've got to get Travis Kelce open, because outside of that dude, I don't think people don't have any fear for their pass catchers. So that's the key for me. All right, so here's my question. Because we're siblings, and the rivalry is real all across the board, with y'all's two teams facing off on this Sunday, is there a wager perhaps that wants to be thrown out there between the two of you for this episode, or what's going on with that?
I don't know how that's gonna work.
What do you mean?
Because I have his quarterback in fantasy.
That's the
Yes,
divisive. That's the divisive tactic of the of NFL. They'll make you root for a player while you're rooting for against your team at the same time, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing. Go ahead, Brian.
Now, just to say that, I do have Travis Kelce on my fantasy team. So, unfortunately, but you know what? Jaguars before fantasy. Just simply that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're already gonna win.
Okay.
What's the bet? What's the bet?
Well, yeah, I gotta first of all agree that you want to do this.
Oh, of course, we're winning.
Yeah. I'm really confident that we're gonna win. So, I'll definitely bet.
Let's definitely do it.
All right. So, you guys can talk about the terms of your bet. I will actually if you would let me know what it is. I would talk about it on the ShakeBack Sports Show that you can hear on the weekend on the BGC Sports Network. And then after the game and on the next episode, we will come back and we will talk about said bet, who won, what it was, and what is going to be the criteria in order for the one person to collect from the other person. How does all that sound?
Freaking amazing.
Sounds great.
Go.
All right, so I'm gonna put a Twitter poll up. I'm gonna tag both of y'all in it, and for one of us that needs to get back active on Twitter, you need to make sure you retweet it or repost it or re-exit or whatever they're calling it these days.
No, I got it.
So I'm not taking my belt off with the person about this ever again. Either you're gonna do it or you're not, and if you're not gonna do it, then we're gonna have some problems.
Oh,
Big brother has spoken. Couple of no social media comments before we get up out of here. George always checking in from Cleveland. He, of course, is a Browns fan. Question to all three of you: turfer or playing on natural grass, and why? Natural grass always wins for me. What about you guys?
Yeah, natural grass, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
And the reason why is because it just makes the game that much safer. I mean, that turf. I mean, look what goes on at MetLife Stadium. Although that didn't have anything to do with Aaron Rodgers' injury, but we've seen stuff like that happen in the past. All right. And he also says, bet proposal. Loser wears shining team hat on the air. George, why you bringing up old stuff? Number one, you ain't got to do that. All right. They're going to decide between.
It was really good, though. Come on.
Why are you bringing up old stuff? We ain't going. This is a new season. We're not doing that this year. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be even brave enough to bet, but we'll see how our teams are looking as we get close to that date. Social media information. Brian, go.
So mainly on Twitter at Sooner25411. I got it listed there. General of the Stutzman Army. Shout out to all of my Army members out there if they're watching. I've got that's pretty much it. I'm mainly on Twitter. So,
and let me just ask me here. Let me yeah, right. Every Wednesday, 7:00 or 7:00 Central or Eastern, 6:00. Y'all know what it is. But let me ask you this before we get to Teshia. The General Stutzman's Army. What's behind that?
Does she know? That's the question. Because I can explain it.
No, I want you to explain. I want you to explain to everybody that's watching and listening.
You want me to? Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so I mean, there's a linebacker that if you're into college football, his name is Danny Stutzman. He's one of the best in national football. I mean, in college football right now. Basically, when he was a freshman, he came out and trolled a bunch of his teammates and on Twitter and had funny pictures and posted them. Anyway, he basically said, anybody that follows him, he would follow them if they put that person's funny picture as their profile picture. And so everybody started doing it. So you had like hundreds of people with the same picture as their profile picture. And so a local guy in the radio here in Oklahoma basically just came out and said, it sure looks like Stutzman is building an army. And at that exact moment that I heard that, I changed my Twitter name to the General of the Stutzman Army, and it just blew up. I mean, I've got all kinds of people that have corporal in the Stutzman Army. You got the captain of the Stutzman Army. We just have all kinds of different ranks, and just for fun stuff. And we have a big group chat that we're in. It's a big deal. Danny knows about it. Me and him talk every now and then. So it's definitely supported by him. His father was a coach that coached down at Baylor University, and he supports it. He talks to us all the time. It's a lot of fun. I didn't expect anything out of it, and it's been quite a bit of fun. So.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, and let's use your juice to see if we can get some of your guys on the show and we can talk about that. I think that would be pretty dope. With that. All right, Teshia, social media information.
Isn't that the beauty of Twitter, though? Connecting people.
That's what it is.
It is, man. Good people, meeting good people. Okay. At here, the number 4 football, Casey. That's it.
Are you sure that's right?
ShakeBack Media Group. Also, hold on. Show Nuff Divided.
A Show Nuff Divided.
Show Nuff Divided. I was close.
You're getting very, very good with your plugs. That's awesome. And also Teshia will soon to be Coach Teshia. Shake your head like this. All right. Y'all got anything else? I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Well, let's
go Jaguars.
This was fun. We're gonna be keeping an eye out for week 2 down in Jacksonville in terms of what happens. Specifically with the bet, I got the Twitter poll that's going to be going, or get the Twitter question, the poll. What am I trying to say? I got the question going up on the Twitter poll after my next project. I got Michelle W. She's going to be rolling in to talk about her journey, part 3, and she just actually completed her bodybuilding competition in St. Louis, in which she did very, very well. So I'm encouraging you guys to come in and watch that. That's going to be a lot of fun. So with that being said, for Brian, the Jaguars, for Teshia, the Chiefs. I hate them. Hate them. It's your boy Willie FT Jr. ShakeBack Media Group. A Show Sho Nuff Divided. Y'all take care of each other. Y'all hug each other. Y'all love each other. We'll holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.